I've wanted to go to Quebec for so long. To be in a French-speaking part of North America is very cool.
It definitely feels European, much more so than any other city that I've been to in North America.
Montreal's always been known as like a cool place. Everyone always went here for like their high school trip or their grad trip or whatever it might be. And I was like, yeah, that's that place in Canada where you can drink when you're 18. That place rocks.
Here we are, we're ready to fucking party. Legally, I can consume alcohol here.
Damon got a little buzzed up for the first time because he was 18, we were 18. It's legal to drink here as an 18.
Yeah, like, stop trying to blow up my spot, you two. Like, I was just doing what's legal, okay?
4 cases of Labatt Blue. Nice. Wow, I mean, I didn't get the 4 case. I drank them while I was there. It's a great place to drink, Tom, Montreal. For all you kids planning on going up there for a trip. I'm kidding. No, I'm not.
We are in Montreal and we're doing a brewery run. I've heard it's got a great brewery scene. Let's find out for ourselves.
Now we're in the Latin Quarter and we're exploring another one of Montreal's traditions, which is beer making. Montreal is actually home to the oldest brewery in North America, which is Molson, founded in 1786.
Since its earliest days, Montreal has been a center for alcoholic beverages. The city's first brewery was established in 1650, which was the first commercial brewery in all of New France.
The interesting thing about beer is whatever we've been as a country, beer has followed.
Canada's beer history is as diverse as the country itself. It all started back in the 17th century when the First Nations made spruce beer. The settlers in Quebec continued to make spruce beer well into the 18th century. That was until the British took over Quebec and brought with them their ales and stouts.
The year is 1786. George Washington is not yet the US president. In fact, the US Constitution hasn't even been ratified yet. And north of the border, a 33-year-old English immigrant by the name of John Molson steps off a ship in Montreal and decides the colony desperately needs a great beer. He bought a small brewery on the St. Lawrence River and began upgrading everything. And by 1786, he was selling his first batches of Molson Ale. From the get-go, people absolutely loved it. Word spread quickly, and John Molson became one of Canada's great early industrialists. And in 2005, merged with Coors to form the famous Molson Coors Brewing Company, which of course is one of the world's largest beer producers to this day.
Molson now, called Molson Coors, it's the 3rd largest beer company in the world. We're in over 50 countries and we have over 100 brands that people get to enjoy across the world.
It's 238 years old and firmly ingrained in Canadian culture. Wow. And that's the short version. What a history.
And don't forget Seagram's. Once headquartered in Montreal and founded in 1857, it flourished during American Prohibition in the 1920s and had become the largest owner of alcoholic beverages in the world by the end of the century.
The Seagram Company, an alcohol distillery and household name of drinking that you're probably already aware of, that found its footing during America's dry spell, Prohibition.
Unlike the United States, where they managed to get alcohol banned completely between the end of the First World War and the 1930s, temperance in Canada, or prohibition rather, was always a piecemeal thing. Quebec only had it for a year, Ontario for 6 or 7 years, BC for 4 or 5 years, and it never worked very well because you could do things like ship beer back and forth across provincial boundaries.
As Prohibition sweeps the continent, the Quebec government decides to ask Quebecers what they think. And on April 19, 1919, holds a referendum on the matter. A massive 78.6% of voters say alcohol should remain legal, making Quebec the only place in North America where drinking alcohol is still allowed. Tourism from the United States skyrockets over the next decade, and Montreal becomes known as the Sin City of North America.
Montreal was where all the booze was flowing. We were the city that never slept. We were Sin City.
During this public banning of alcohol use, Seagram cleverly navigated the era's stringent regulations by disguising alcohol sales under medicinal labels. Strategic foresight to stockpile whiskey prior to the repeal of Prohibition in the United States positioned Seagram to swiftly capture the pent-up demand for quality spirits, drastically altering the landscape of the liquor industry. This company didn't just survive, it thrived. Seagram not only broadened its product range, but also ventured into wines, champagnes, and cognac, significantly diluting its dependency on whiskey. This period therefore solidified Seagram's status as a powerhouse in the global beverage industry, with 1 in 3 alcoholic beverages consumed in the 1950s being produced by Seagram.
The emergence of microbreweries in the mid-1980s once again changed the landscape of Canadian beer and breweries, which continues to grow to this day. Canadians have access to one of the largest selections of beer styles in the world.
Montreal has one of the best brewery scenes in the world. There's nowhere better.
It's just something that's part of our, our genetic makeup. We just know how to do it right. That's just how it is.
When it comes to alcohol and beer production, there are few cities in the New World with a richer history than Montreal.
An American liquor company is moving shop to Montreal.
Sourpuss, the hard-to-forget sweet and sour drink that generations of Canadians have taken shots with, has officially abandoned the United States and moved its production across the border to Montreal. In a year dominated by Trump's tariffs, trade threats, and nationalist pressure campaigns, it turns out a simple party drink has delivered one of the clearest messages yet.
American liquor sales have plummeted since some provinces began boycotting and pulling U.S. products right off their shelves. For one American company, the loss of the Canadian market has forced them to move production to Montreal. The company, which sold more than $23 million worth of product in 2024 alone, says the move will bring them closer to their core customer base.
The vast majority, about 98%, is sold in Canada. In many ways, we think of it as being a Canadian brand, and so all the more reason we should produce it in Canada.
Its journey from Minnesota to Montreal is not simply a tale of relocation or branding. It is a story that reflects how trade policy, political maneuvering, and consumer behavior intersect in ways that are tangible, symbolic, and economically meaningful.
We looked at 19 different plants where we might produce. We ended up narrowing it down to 3 and ultimately chose Station 22 in Montreal to produce our products for the Canadian market. And today is the startup date.
Once production moved north, the choice of Montreal revealed something deeper than a simple logistical pivot. It highlighted the fact that Canada could offer capabilities the U.S. facilities did not. Producing Sourpuss at Station 22 immediately cut transportation costs by placing production closer to its only major market. But the bigger difference lay in what the Quebec plant could actually make. Unlike the Minnesota facility, Station 22 already had a full canning line, allowing the company to produce ready-to-drink beverages, a category that has been growing rapidly in Quebec and across Canada. This shift also gave Phillips the flexibility to adjust formulations to suit Canadian tastes, something far harder to achieve from across the border.
Tiny victory, but symbolically important for Montreal, for Quebec, for Canada.
For the United States, especially the Trump White House, the optics here are uncomfortable. A policy designed to force production into America has instead pushed production out.
It showed how stability, consumer alignment, and technical capability can outweigh geography. In this moment, Canada seemed to offer that stability more reliably than the United States. And that leads to a larger question. In a world where unpredictability becomes normal, will more firms choose stable ground over traditional hubs?
A renowned American beer brewing school is bottling up and relocating to Montreal. It points to changes in the United States for the move to Canada.
Well, soon, Chicago will not be home to the nation's oldest brewing school. It is leaving the city and the country. Siebel Institute of Technology was founded in 1872. That school is moving to Montreal. It'll be located near Molson's original brewery site, which is the oldest brewery in North America. The company cites several reasons for the move, including changes in the brewing industry and challenges getting student visas to enter the United States.
This nondescript Montreal address, just a few blocks from the original site of Molson, is soon to be home to a prestigious beer brewing school. Since 1872, the famed Siebel Institute has taught the fine art and science of brewing to generations in Chicago.
The name Siebel might not be recognized by most. It's not a giant of the American brewing industry like Busch, Pabst, or Coors. But those are all names of families that sent members to learn the craft at the Siebel Institute of Technology.
We wouldn't really have the American brewing industry, let alone the craft beer industry, really, without Siebel.
There's been a post floating around online about how every favorite beer you've had here in the US was directly influenced by a Siebel graduate. It's hard to quantify just how important the Siebel Institute has been for beer in America.
You might call it the Harvard of the beer world.
Everybody in the industry probably knows about the Siebel Institute. It's one of the few schools in North America that actually offers classes on brewing.
And if you think beer school sounds easy, it's anything but, with courses in chemistry, microbiology, engineering, and physics. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, for up to 20 weeks.
Brewing is art and science, but science is the production of beer and art is what ends up in the glass.
John Hannafin, the general manager and director of education for the school, made the reason for the move abundantly clear, saying, quote, "Recent regulatory changes in the U.S. have made it much more challenging for many of our international students who have become the majority of our student body to attend classes in person."
We're tough and we're smart.
The Trump administration is tightening rules for student visas, it says, to end foreign student visa abuse.
It's all industries, it's all immigrants, regardless of what the reasoning is for being here.
More recently, their classes were maybe 70 to 80% foreign.
Wow.
I knew that they were kind of in trouble when they were having trouble filling their fall program. People were, reticent to come into the U.S. from the outside of the country, and then the government instituted a pretty draconian policy where anybody who wanted to get a visa to come in for this kind of thing had to submit all their user IDs and passwords for all their social media to let the government comb through them.
Wow.
And it's very, very draconian.
To many in the brewery scene in the U.S., the loss of Siebel, woven into the history of Chicago, is heartbreaking.
Certainly was a really difficult thing to learn about, and definitely disappointed and saddened. But, the school has to continue, right? It's also a business, and if you don't have students, then there's nothing.
America is losing one of its foremost education centers.
It's just one more thing that's just chipped away from us. It's sad to see this go down like this, to a great extent, really beyond Siebel's control.
While the brewing industry in the U.S. is reeling from the news, it's being welcomed in the Institute's new home.
It's fun to know that this renowned institution wants to set up shop here and was attracted by the beer culture that we already have.
A prominent addition to Quebec's already vibrant scene as knowledge and workers will spill over.
We do have a very high reputation in the craft beer industry. It's going to put Montreal, Quebec on the map for that knowledge.
The craft beer scene in Quebec is thriving, with rural breweries contributing to the local economy.
With the number of breweries in Canada at an all-time high, Canadians' insatiable appetite for beer shows no signs of stopping.
So that's where we actually brew the beer here?
Quatre Origines has been brewing craft beer in Quebec since 2018. On tap from Montreal now, says the president, Michael Dornelas, is a university of beer.
I really think it's going to focus a lot of attention onto Montreal as a destination for beer, which the U.S. that's where all the focus is for craft beer. Like, we learned from them.
And the move is expected to come into effect as of this January.
In January, it will move here to this building on St. Catherine Street East, and has plans to open a baking academy here alongside the brewing school.
Do you think you'll be making the trek to Montreal?
I'd love to have an excuse to go to Montreal. It's a wonderful place. I love it. The beer scene in Canada, in Quebec, is incredible. At least it was the last time I was there. And the cheese up there, oh my God. And we never see any of it down here, but it's like going to France or Italy or something. It's amazing. I love the food scene up there.
If you're in Montreal, check out the brewery scene. It's 100% worth it.
I think it's great. The word I always use is beertopia. There's really a beer for every taste. The thing is, the industry just keeps going forward. It's a fantastic thing. We still love it. And I think this is probably the best time to be a beer drinker in the last 200 years in Canada.